Hi, and welcome to this week's Ask Steve Schneider, where you, the village's general public, email your questions into us, and we answer them right here on the segment. Steve, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Mark. Glad to be here.
Wonderful. Got some great questions. The first one is from Joanne in the Villages, and she writes, I am recently widowed, and I'm very concerned about keeping my money safe. Where can I find safety and security in today's market conditions?
Yeah, the first thing, Joanne, sorry to hear for your loss. It's a very emotional time. But thankfully, this is something that we can really help with, that there are quite a bit of options right now for safe investments that actually get a decent rate of return. So definitely a time to come in, see us, and we can review things.
My next question is from Sergio in the Villages, and he writes, our advisor hasn't called us in over 2 years. Is that normal? How often should someone get together with their advisor?
Yeah, no, good question, and the answer is that's not normal, but unfortunately many people do experience that type of relationship with their advisor. We believe you should be seeing your advisor at least every year on a routine basis, and then any time in between that you have maybe an annuity or a life insurance contract that comes due, you should be reviewing that every year. And then toward the end of the year, do a tax review. So a couple times a year, you should be talking to your advisor, not 2 years without it.
You know, I look at my other professionals that I work with, my doctor, my dentist, they reach out to me quite regularly.
Right.
Okay, I'm constantly getting that text, confirm your confirmation for the next meeting coming up, right? Click C to confirm. Is it fair to say that if your advisor isn't reaching out to you on a semi-regular basis, that this might be an indication that you're just a transaction to them,
Yep.
and there's not a terrible amount of concern for your financial well-being?
Yeah, it should be proactive on the advisor's point of view, that's what we do. Like the doctor recommends, you should be coming back at a certain period of time. Yeah, they should be, as a good advisor, seeing you on a regular basis, and they should be the one, basically coordinating that with you, not you pushing them. Yeah.
My last question is from Marge in the Villages. I feel like our investments are all over the place. My husband and I are very conservative. Where can we put our money today to keep it totally safe besides the bank? Also, we'd like to have it grow a little too.
Yeah, no, great question, Marge. And especially in today's day and age, it's something that we're hearing quite often. Traditionally, you used to be able to keep your money in the bank and make a good rate of return, but the banks, for some reason, are no longer doing that. But the benefit we have is we have a lot of other conservative, quite often principal protected and guaranteed type investments that you can get a decent rate of return, especially in the long run now in retirement. So definitely come in and see us to look at the options.
I have a bonus question today. It's from Pete in the Villages, and he writes, on a lot of commercials that I see today for financial advisors, they talk about being a fiduciary. What is that, and are you one?
Right. Yeah, that's another great question. The term fiduciary, I think, is somewhat misused at times in the industry. And so when we say a fiduciary, that quite often deals with the fact that we hold licenses that are issued by the government to be investment advisors. But in addition to that, we're regulated by a government agency that ensures we not only are a fiduciary, but we act as a fiduciary on a regular basis. And if we didn't, that there'd be ramifications. And so to me, that's a real fiduciary, and that's what we strive for. Unfortunately, there are some advisors that say they're a fiduciary, but they don't really have any of the teeth in the wording and stuff. So look for a real fiduciary, somebody who's registered with the government.
Yeah, and I was reading, Steve, that less than 10% of the people out there that consider themselves to be financial advisors are in fact fiduciaries. It's a standard. There's the suitability standard and the fiduciary standard, right? Mm-hmm. So why don't you take a minute and talk about the difference between suitability and fiduciary?
Yeah, so suitability is a term that we use in the industry, that we actually prove that the recommendation we make is suitable for you. Because a true fiduciary not only gives you advice, it gives you advice that's good for you, not just everybody in the general public. A real fiduciary, and that is one step beyond suitability, where we actually are held accountable for it and then follow up to make sure that we continually provide advice for you that's specifically to your benefit. Yeah.
Steve, thanks so much. If you want more information about any of the topics we spoke about here, or you'd like to have your question answered on the show, it's really easy. Just email your question into us on that website that you see on the screen, or hey, give us a call in the office. We'd love to start a conversation.